Yes guys, welcome back to another Fantasy Football Fix YouTube video. My name is FPL Nacho, and in this video we are going to be looking at the top transfers going into Game Week 6. Game Week 5 was eventful to say the least for a lot of FPL managers, with some of them having disaster game weeks, including myself. So this video is going to get you guys back on track. So make sure you do drop a like on this video. Make sure you do smash that subscribe button. And without further ado, let's get into today's video. So the first player that I think needs to be on our Game Week 6 top transfers, and maybe number one, is going to be Julian Alvarez. Now, this is a guy that continues to deliver FPL points more than a certain Nicholas Jackson. Now, in particular, if you are a Nicholas Jackson owner right now, this transfer needs to be a consideration for you. Now, looking at Alvarez over the course of the season so far, he has started every single Premier League fixture and basically played every minute, playing as that number 10 behind Erling Haaland alongside the likes of Phil Foden. So yes, he isn't the number one forward in that Man City team. He is still getting in and amongst all of the chances that get created in this Man City team. Still only 6.8 million, which is amazing value going into this Man City attack. And we need to discuss as well the fact that if you only have Erling Haaland in the Man City attack, you basically aren't gaining anything from a positive Man City performance. You do need that other person alongside him to really get any sort of gain in rank. And I think Julian Alvarez is the guy to own. 0.39 XG per 90 and 0.28 XA per 90, which is expected goals and expected assists. Now, it's worth noting, these aren't like groundbreaking underlying numbers. Haaland is by far and away beyond this of Alvarez, and there are other forwards in the game like Nicholas Jackson who have better numbers than Alvarez. However, it's just the consistency that we are getting with somebody like Alvarez in this Man City attack. If he continues to play every minute, put up these underlying numbers in a team like Man City who completely dominate games and get 2 XG per game, you just know that returns are going to be coming with this man. Now, the only issue I would say is 0.6 big chances per 90 highlights to me the fact that everything still funnels through Erling Haaland. So if you are to buy Alvarez, you're not buying necessarily the out-and-out goal scorer in this Man City team, because everything still centralizes through Erling Haaland. But as I discussed, Man City creates so many opportunities for all of their players, and Alvarez is just going to be the man who is alongside Haaland to tap the ball in the net if Haaland doesn't do so. And that's all we can ask for in this Man City team. And look at the fixtures coming up. Nottingham Forest at home in Game Week 6 is just an amazing entry point for anybody that is looking to buy Julian Alvarez. Now, I'm going to say with a caveat for all of these players that we do have Champions League midweek, which we need to remember. And also Man City being not necessarily the early kickoff, but the 3 p.m. kickoff with a 1:30 deadline on Game Week 6. So we may get some early Man City team news. So if you are looking to buy Alvarez as one of your free transfers, I would hold off for now. Let the Champions League games happen. And if you are patient enough, maybe even wait until some potential Man City team leaks before the Game Week 6 deadline. But it is worth noting, based on our price change predictor, Alvarez is likely to go up in price again, and Jackson may be down in price before that Game Week 6 deadline. So maybe just keep that in the back of your minds. And in terms of predicted points, he's looking still fantastic. 15.1 predicted points. And I'd argue they would be even more if we know that he's going to play guaranteed 90 minutes in the next few game weeks. And even with Arsenal away and Brighton in a few of the game weeks' time, I still think he is a brilliant transfer for your teams. And he'd be the priority for me if you were currently sat there with a Nicholas Jackson problem. Now, next up, we need to come into a midfielder that I can't believe I've ignored all season, but he is just the FPL GOAT. And that is going to be, of course, Liverpool's Mo Salah. I cannot believe I didn't start the season with him. Congratulations to anybody that did do so. It was just so obvious, wasn't it? Put the best forward in the game in Haaland, put the best midfielder in the game, and build our drafts around it. And lo and behold, we're all starting to crawl back to Mo Salah. Now, It's worth noting from a goal scoring perspective, he isn't breaking any records whatsoever. This isn't the Mo Salah that we saw maybe 5 years ago where he was getting his 30 goal a season. It may happen, but right now he isn't actually delivering on that side of things. Now his XG is currently at 0.57 per 90 minutes, which is decent underlying numbers, but it's worth noting, of course, that does include penalties. So his XG with no penalty is 0.41. So his open play XG isn't really at the heights that we do usually expect with Mo Salah. But again, what I tell everybody is, yes, these are skewed with penalties, but that's not a bad thing. We always want the players that are actually the penalty takers in their respective teams, whether they might be bad penalty takers or not. So that is still a great thing for Mo Salah. But the thing we are seeing this season is he's being much more of a chance creator in this Liverpool team. And we can see that with the expected assists per 90 at 0.58. We saw the brace of assists that he got in game week 5, really turning the game for Liverpool in that fixture. And while he isn't necessarily scoring each and every game week, he is consistent with the assists. Now at 12.5 million, we then need to ask ourselves, is he worth it if he is going to be more of a chance creator in this side rather than a goal scorer? And we can see that with the big chances per 90 at only 0.83. Historically, we have seen this around the 1, maybe 1.2 big chances per 90. These are a little less right now. Is that going to be consistent? Because 5 game weeks of information, I don't really think is enough for us to come to massive conclusions right now. But I would say if this continues at 12.5 million, I just don't know whether we can absolutely say that he is essential for our teams. Now, the reason why I'm putting in a game week 6 top transfers list is because looking at game week 9, they are at home against Everton. And after that, their fixtures are unbelievable. And with a lot of FPL managers looking to wildcard in game week 9, pretty much everybody's going to have Mo Salah come that game week. And if you're in a position where you have double Man United midfield and you're really fed up with them and you have a bit of money in the bank, I think this is the best time to go for Mo Salah in a free transfer strategy, or maybe even a -4. West Ham at home, Spurs away and Brighton away. While they're not easy fixtures on paper, Liverpool are one of the teams in this league which I can confidently say I fancy to score in each and every game week. And with Spurs away and Brighton away not necessarily being defensively the most sound, I think Mo Salah is just a good differential transfer to bring in for the next 3 game weeks, knowing that everybody will bring him in come game week 9. So if you can find a way to bring him in, this is the game week to do so. His numbers are fantastic and I expect them to continue each and every game week. And while other teams have Champions League football, Europa League, Conference League, that is going to be the same for Liverpool. But because of the group difficulty, I'd expect Mo Salah to be able to still play all of these Premier League games. And he's the one in the Liverpool side that we know isn't going to get rotated week in, week out. And in terms of predicted points, he is right up there with one of the best at 24.7. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. I still think Mo Salah is one of those priority transfers for game week 6 if you can squeeze him into your transfer strategy. So last up, we need to talk about Ben Chilwell replacements. So let's get right into that. Now, I imagine there are a lot of FPL managers sat there right now with Ben Chilwell or maybe another defender that they're looking at thinking, I need to get rid of that guy. And I've got 2 players here who are more on the premium side that we definitely can consider for our FPL teams. And that is going to be Liverpool's Robertson and Newcastle's Kieran Trippier, both at 6.5 million at the time of recording. Now, it's worth noting, we're looking at Trippier mainly because of the Newcastle defence. I would say if you don't have the luxury of going to this price point, Botman would be my pick of the bunch of the Newcastle defenders. I think he's a brilliant value pick into that team. So just to say, Botman, brilliant option. But we're looking more at the premium side here because I think a lot of FPL managers are starting to move towards the Newcastle defence. That is going to be a high ownership pick. And Trippier is naturally the best pick because of the set piece potential and attacking potential that he does offer. However, looking at the XG per 90 minutes for the opening 5 game weeks, you can see it is at 0. He is offering nothing right now in that Newcastle team from a goal scoring perspective. But from an expected assist perspective, they are still okay numbers at 0.14 per 90. Now, I wanted to compare this to Robertson because I think this is someone that is really flying under the radar right now. With the Trent Alexander-Arnold injury, nobody really has any investment in the Liverpool defence. And while they're not necessarily watertight defensively, I still fancy them to do well over the long term. And Robertson is starting to show some sort of attacking threat in this team. 0.09 XG per 90, 0.06 expected assists per 90. Not really screaming out amazing value, it is worth noting. Historically, when Liverpool were bombing on their fullbacks, we would see these numbers through the roof. So this shows me that there is a slight change to the way Liverpool are playing right now. However, we've seen some promising signs in the last few game weeks. And what I do like as well is the crosses per 90 for both are fantastic. 6 per 90 for Robertson, 6.6 for Trippier. This is the way that they basically are going to accumulate their big chances for the teams. And with an expected FPL points in favour of Robertson at 4.55 per 90, it does beg the question, maybe is he a fantastic differential to swing against the Newcastle defence? Now, looking at the predicted points for the next few game weeks, Trippier still leads the way at 17 points. And looking at the fixtures, I'd argue Newcastle is still the way to go. Sheffield United, Burnley, West Ham and Crystal Palace. If we compare that to what Liverpool have of West Ham, who have been scoring goals so far this season, Spurs and Brighton, who are both very good offensively, I'd argue that Newcastle are going to be more favourable for clean sheets over this period than that of Liverpool. And then we're starting to lean towards the fact of, can Robertson deliver attacking returns to compensate for maybe the lack of clean sheets? And look at the underlying numbers, I'd probably argue no. And for that reason, if you're looking to spend more on a premium defender, I would go for Kieran Trippier if you can afford it. As I discussed, Botman is a great value pick at 4.5 if you can't get there, but Trippier is still looking brilliant. The only caveat I would say is the introduction of the Champions League. Newcastle have a ridiculously hard Champions League schedule, and I imagine Trippier is going to feature every single midweek with Eddie Howe playing his best side. Could we see Livramento play from time to time at right back? I think there is more chance of it than others do believe, but we may have to cross that bridge when we get there. For now, on the face of it, Trippier, a brilliant transfer in for our Game Week 6 team. So those are going to be the Game Week 6 top transfers, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Who is your top transfer for this coming game week? And let me know how your Game Week 5 went on. Can you beat my miraculous score of 31 points? Let me know. Make sure you do drop a like on the video. Make sure you do smash that subscribe button. And I will see you in the next one. Take care. Cheers.